Hi, this is the Business Guy. In this video, we'll talk about Swiss banking, how to open a Swiss bank account, the benefits, how safe Swiss banks are, and Swiss bank privacy. In fact, many people set up Swiss bank accounts for financial privacy and personal asset protection. In fact, my team and I have helped literally thousands of clients open offshore accounts in Switzerland and elsewhere, and we have relationships with some of the leading Swiss banks. So call or fill out a free consultation form if you need assistance. So who can open a Swiss bank account? Theoretically, anybody can open a Swiss bank account. Swiss banks have reputations of strength, safety, and integrity. So as expected, they have a duty to only accept clients who they feel will not injure the reputation, safety, and integrity of the bank itself or the Swiss banking industry in general. So because the regulations require it, you'll need to give the bank reasonable evidence that the source of your potential funds come from legitimate legal sources. The law forbids Swiss banks from opening up accounts if they know or suspect that the proceeds are from criminal activity. In addition, you can open a Swiss bank account inside of your own corporation or limited liability company. We can form the company that holds the account in almost any jurisdiction worldwide, so it does not need to be a Swiss entity. Sophisticated and knowledgeable Swiss bank account holders who desire substantial privacy do just this. They hold their accounts in offshore company names. Now, a common jurisdiction in which to form the offshore company for the purpose of opening Swiss bank accounts is the Caribbean island of Nevis. A Nevis limited liability company, LLC, offers a respectable combination of legal privacy and protection. In fact, we've set up more Nevis LLCs than anybody in the world. Now, why open your Swiss bank account in a company name? It's because money transfers into banks usually leave electronic or paper trails. What do you accomplish when you wire your money into a Swiss bank account inside of a company? Enhance privacy. That is because the electronic trail will show that you wired the money to a company rather than to an account in your own individual name. The owner of the Nevis LLC remains private. Incidentally, we can form a Nevis LLC in about 24 hours. Moreover, I personally traveled to Zurich, Switzerland to meet with several international bankers. In fact, I've walked down Bahnhofstrasse, the street with the highest concentration of banks in Switzerland. And I visited the district in order to see firsthand the goings-on in the hub of the world's international financial center, and I have a personal relationship with one of the top bankers in Switzerland for about 20 years. For more information, go ahead and give us a call at 1-954-400-1050 or fill out a free consultation form at offshorecompany.com. Okay, how can I open a Swiss bank account without going there? The best advice is to contact an organization such as ours with experience in opening Swiss bank accounts. Swiss banks have strict guidance when it comes to opening accounts regardless of your home country. Recent Know Your Customer laws have made the process more involved now than it was previously. Moreover, the regulations require the bank to identify the customer, so they must see verified government documentation. Plus, many banks in Switzerland will not open accounts for certain foreign residents. So because there are several hundreds of banks that will turn you away, it is important to seek guidance as to which bank will accept you. Our company, Lawyers Limited, has been in business starting in 1906 and has years of experience in opening Swiss bank accounts. Lawyers Limited can quickly and easily open your bank account without you leaving home. Okay, so how long will it take to open my Swiss bank account? The answer is that it depends on the amount of time that you take to complete and return the application and provide the required due diligence documents. Once you fulfill your requirements, the bank usually opens up the account within 48 hours to 3 weeks after they receive your application. Can I open a Swiss bank account online? The answer is no. The Swiss banks must follow customer identification procedures in order to comply with Swiss law. Therefore, at the present time, one must open a bank account with some degree of human interaction. The due diligence agreement, currently CDB20, to which all Swiss banks must adhere, requires them to confirm the identity of the potential client. So they must gather detailed information about the signers as well as information about the type of account desired. Banks prefer face-to-face meetings, and Lawyers Limited has agreements with many banks in Switzerland. So in most cases, we can arrange to have the bank representative fly to meet with you, so they can meet you in your home or place of business either before or shortly after the opening of your bank account. What information do I need to give in order to open up the account? First of all, you need to complete the application that the bank requires. You do this in order to fill the legal requirements of the bank and to meet all of the bank's due diligence and know your customer responsibilities. They will ask you to provide proof of identity of the owner of the assets. If you open the account in a company name, you must provide company documentation. In addition, you'll need to provide the identity information of the person or people behind the company. You will also need to show proof of source of funds. Are you depositing money from somebody else? If so, you will need to show proof of identity of the person from whom you're depositing the funds. Alternatively, in most cases today, the bank may require you to first move the funds from one of your existing accounts. Thus, they may require you to wire the money from an account that's already in your own name. And this is to comply with the anti-money laundering regulations. In addition, most banks require you to show evidence of your profession and your typical financial transactions. Now, they aren't doing this to be nosy. It is because the regulations require it, and they don't want to lose their banking license. In addition, for the bank to be able to offer you the best type of account for your needs, you will discuss your future plans, such as your intent to start a new business, sell a business, retire, or purchase real estate. You will likely see the best historical returns in managed accounts. Thus, they will need to know your financial growth objectives and your safety tolerances. The more you tell the bank about your desires, the better they can help you meet your financial goals. Can I open an anonymous account? Yes and no. You can open up an account and enjoy the protection of Switzerland bank secrecy laws. However, the bank must know who you are. Can I open a numbered account? Now, a numbered Swiss bank account is where the account is not under one's own name, but is assigned a number. And banks are very reluctant to open this kind of account. So now, most people who desire privacy open their account in the name of their own offshore company. And as mentioned previously, one type of entity that provides substantial privacy is an LLC filed in the Caribbean island of Nevis. The Nevis LLC will then own the bank account in Switzerland. Now, there may be unusual cases where a bank allows a numbered account. Even so, one's offshore company often owns the numbered account rather than the one who opened the account, and that will provide for additional privacy. The way in which one opens a numbered account is precisely the same as any other type of account. The bank must verify the identity of the account signer. Numbered accounts or bank accounts owned by one's private offshore company are private to the outside world. However, the people within the bank will know the identity of the person pulling the strings. So a numbered account offers no added secrecy over an account in one's company name. What's the minimum deposit? For most banks, there's a minimum of $500,000 to $2.5 million US dollars. However, some banks will open accounts for $100,000 or less. Most accounts would like to see the potential to grow the account to the $1 million level or more. In which currencies can I hold my Swiss bank account? You can hold your account in US dollars, euros, Swiss francs, or other currencies. How much interest will I earn on my money? Now that depends on the kind of account you choose, as well as the going interest rates and market conditions. You will not find Swiss banks paying substantially higher interest rates than most banks around the world. It is not their interest rates that attract clients, it is their privacy and safety. Swiss managed accounts that invest in the stock market tend to show substantially better long-term returns, and this provides a much better return than a standard interest-bearing account. Managed account returns are often in the range of 8 to 15% annually. Now note that this is an estimate based on historical trends. This is neither a guarantee nor is it financial advice. Now regarding privacy, many people say, well, Swiss banking privacy is gone. It's no more. Well, that's not the case. It's still very private. It's just that there were some recent news articles in which U.S. people open Swiss bank accounts, but they utilize banks in Switzerland that also have corresponding U.S. branches. And the U.S. government has strong leverage to fine the local branch if the offshore branch does not cough up information. And that's why we only utilize Swiss bank accounts that do not have corresponding U.S. branches. And that is not to get around U.S. laws or avoid any legal requirements. It is simply for the protection of assets from lawsuits. Okay, so which bank do you recommend in particular? And that depends on your financial needs and the amount of capital you have available. So you have to give us a call so we can help. How safe is a bank account in Switzerland? Now, all banks in Switzerland must have a Swiss Federal Banking Commission license. The SFBC is a member of the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, an international authority which sets guidelines for sound financial practice in the banking industry. The international body sets the rules, and if the Swiss regulations agree with the guidelines, they are included in the Swiss code and enforced by the SFBC. The SFBC implements regulations and oversees the entire Swiss banking industry according to Basel Committee recommendations as well as local Swiss law. The regulations dictate that the banks must keep adequate equity and capital on hand. They also prescribe a broad range of sound financial requirements and monetary discretion guidelines. In fact, in the 31 years I've been in the industry, none of our clients have ever had issues with Swiss banks as far as liquidity goes. Moreover, the laws in Switzerland command an even higher capital requirement than the Basel Accord dictates. The capital requirement regulations are some of the highest worldwide. In fact, some of the safest banks in the world are located in Switzerland. So one can consider that Swiss bank accounts are some of the safest banks worldwide. How secret is a Swiss account? Banks in Switzerland have long-standing privacy laws to protect the identity of its account holders. Surveys taken of the Swiss public show that the vast majority of the populace wants to maintain privacy laws. On the other hand, officials in Switzerland do not want to tarnish the country's shiny reputation as a respected banking center. Therefore, as any respectable jurisdiction, the Swiss banking system will not allow itself to be a safe haven for the proceeds of criminal activity. So the regulators can suspend the privacy in a foreign criminal matter. So first, officials would bring the case before a Swiss judge. If the judge in Switzerland determines the crime is also a crime in Switzerland, then the judge can suspend the privacy. Now, tax evasion is not a crime in Switzerland, so they will not reveal information solely in the event of tax evasion. However, we still highly recommend in the strongest terms that you follow the tax laws of your jurisdiction. Now, the main secrecy benefit in possessing a Swiss bank account is the privacy offered when protecting money from civil litigation. In addition, if asset protection is your goal, you will want to hold your account inside of an international LLC. You hold your LLC, in turn, inside of an offshore asset protection trust for maximum legal protection. Otherwise, if it was just in your own name, the judge could demand you to return the funds yourself. So that's why we set up an asset protection trust and an LLC to hold the accounts. For a free consultation, give Lawyers Limited a call at 1-954-400-1050 or visit offshorecompany.com. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time. This is The Business Guy.